It feels like there are a few very specific ways this game could go tonight, which is why we are going to build a lineup for all of them. You're watching The Perfect Lineup, where Josh Engleman and myself, Dave Loughran, look to take down a tournament with one of the beauties we build in this here video. I'll lay the foundation, the groundwork, right? And then we'll toss it over to Josh to see what he can do in the single lineup sims. Let them do the rest of the work, optimize the rest of the lineup on varying randomness and see how it looks. And let's go and see if we can take one down tonight. As always, if you guys appreciate this content, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. It's 100% free to do. And that hype button down there, it's calling your name. They tell me it goes a long way for us, so give it a shot if you don't mind. I know you can only hype a certain amount of videos, but if you feel like this one's worthy, hit us up. Appreciate you. And if you want to get a free, this would be a reason to do it. If you want to get a free week of Sims NFL Max just for predicting something accurately in the comments below, let us know in the comments, as always, who wins this game and by how much. So specifically, you would say Texans by 4 or Bills by 10. And if you're right, you may have a week of the Sims NFL Max coming your way. Let's get into the lineups. All right, so perfect lineup number one. And by the way, I am pulling no punches in this video. Number one, I think this is a good thought experiment for us to build things and see how they sim out. I do not sim them ahead of time. I just give Josh the plays, he plugs them in, and he records after me. So I genuinely have no idea. Not only that, though, there are some specific spots and players that I just want to talk about so you guys have good enough insight going into this slate. At the very least, after you watch this video, I hope you go, all right, I have a better understanding of this slate in general, even if I'm not playing these lineups specifically and just want to iterate off of whatever's being done. And in this first lineup, I talked about a few ways that this game could play out. Now, obviously, there's always like infinite ways, but it feels like one of the specific ways that it could really play out is if Houston, with their fantastic defense, ends up really slowing down the offensive attack for Josh Allen and a completely neutered pass catching core, right? Even Curtis Samuel and Mecole Hardman are out, but obviously Dalton Kincaid is out. And now we're getting reports that it looks like Keon Coleman is going to be benched for the second straight game. So if the offense struggles and, Derek Stingley and just Anderson and a nasty pass rush and great secondary for Houston is able to keep this game slow, that means on offense, they're going to try and keep this game on the ground. There's simply no way DeMeco Ryans wants Davis Mills throwing another 40-plus times as he's done in each of his first two starts, both of which are wins. But look, you can't tell me that's ideal, having to come back from a 3-score deficit against Jacksonville at home and then really kind of just sleepwalking through that game against the Tennessee Titans, who have one win on the season, which, by the way, they should have lost against Arizona. So here's what we're doing. We're going Woody Marks at captain, but I want to plug Nick Chubb in at the flex spot. I know that was a roundabout way of giving you this lineup, but I want you to understand where I'm coming from. Because if they can stymie the offensive attack for Buffalo, they're going to look to lean on the ground. And I think this is kind of a rising tide can lift all ships situation where Woody Marks clearly getting the bulk of the work, but also a lot more expensive than Chubb now. You get both of these guys in here, I think that actually becomes a very unique build. And on the opposite side, we will run Josh Allen, but naked for now, with no attachments, and Matt Prater as well, assuming the Bills play a lot of this game in between the 20s. 10% randomness, fun way to build a lineup and see what it looks like.
Now, this is a very different start. Bills, Texans, Loughy just set us up. Woody Marks in at the captain spot, just 6% owned. Nick Chubb as one of our flex options, 6% owned. Then we get Josh Allen. Then we get Matt Prater, taking on a little bit more ownership, but $15,400 remaining. We could actually get some legitimate plays to fill out the rest of this lineup. And we're going to use, I don't know why I said lose. We're going to use 10% randomness here. So we need to find out who will fill out this lineup when I click complete this lineup in the single lineup simulator at stokastic.com. We'll fill this out. Then we're going to click run lineup simulation to find out how good this lineup really is. These two low-owned pieces are going to be interesting. I'm anxious to see how we fill it out. And we end up leaving $800 on the table. We get Fairbairn, so we're grabbing another kicker, and we get Davis Mills. So I think the low ownership will help us here. 77.3 projection, 177 ownership. We might be too low, but I'm anxious to see how it looks. So The only thing we could do is click run lineup simulation to find out. I kind of saw this one coming. Negative 22% ROI. I think it's the double super low owned guys that are really making this difficult. 0.1% chance to win, 21% cash rate. But I'm thinking we're going to be in a much better spot as we move forward. I think we can fix this lineup, but I think we've got better stuff to come.
Perfect lineup number 2. Gabe Davis at captain, you say? Look, I told you we were going to pull no punches. I also just wanted to talk about Gabe Davis so you guys have a better understanding of what this slate looks like. But I think it's worth a shot. I really do. I mean, let's think about this for a second. Josh Allen never plays favorites. Hell, in an ideal world, like there could have been a time where you played Terrell Shavers at captain and he was optimal, you know, like last week he had 4 for 90 and a score or whatever it was. Granted, like you would have needed Josh Allen at captain, but you get my point, right? This could end up being a game where Josh Allen doesn't explode. But last week, Gabe Davis is elevated from the practice squad. Not only is he elevated from the practice squad, on their second drive of the game, who does Josh Allen look to convert a 4th down? Gabe Davis, and he converts. They drive it down to the goal line. I think they were at the 3. 1st down. He rolls out. Who does he throw the ball to in the end zone? Gabe Davis. Now, Gabe Davis didn't catch that ball, but he had a 4th down conversion and an end zone target in the same drive in his first action with the Bills all season. Sure, because there's chemistry between these two. They have a long history. So for a guy that doesn't play favorites, you could see another 5-target Khalil Shakir game. There's no Dalton Kincaid. You don't even have Samuel or Mecole Hardman, like I mentioned. Who else do you have? Joshua Palmer's been a colossal disappointment. You do have Shavers. You have some of these other guys, but nobody that stands out. And assuming Davis is back up, it just feels like one of those games where this is a guy that's been targeted. He's been the primary end zone target for Josh Allen multiple seasons before he left Buffalo. So yes, I think it is a fun way to build something and then load up at the rest of the positions. So what we're going to do, and of course, I mentioned Gabe Davis because I think he's also just simply a good flex play as well. You don't have to captain him, but in some large field stuff, I'm going to jam a little bit of him. By jam, like if I got 2-3% Gabe Davis captain, I think you'll still be well over the field. You're going to go Josh Allen. You're going to go James Cook. And you're going to go Bills defense. You're also going to run it back with Nico Collins. So I'm not giving Josh much wiggle room here. We're going to optimize with just one final position, but I'm hoping we get a 5-1 Bills. And this game, unlike the first build we did where the Houston run game gets it going and the offense struggles for Buffalo, this is contrary to that, where the passing game can get it going. Gabe Davis is involved on an offense that spreads things around, and the Bills defense stands up as well. Run it back with Nico, 0% randomness.
So I'm going to talk through this one a little bit because Loughy gave us 5 dudes. He gave us Gabe Davis in the captain spot, Josh Allen, James Cook, the Bills D, Nico Collins. We have 1 spot left, and we have no randomness. So we know who the optimal play is. It's Josh Palmer. He's projected for the most ownership, but we're going to run this twice. We're going to run it for Josh Palmer, and we're going to run it for Dawson Knox because Dawson Knox is only 0.16 points behind him, but we do also shave about 6 percentage points of ownership. And I think that ownership shaving will actually help us here. So let's start with Josh Palmer. We'll get the 5-1 Bills stack, and then we'll run it back and see how Dawson Knox looks to see which lineup is better. All right, 48.5% sim ROI, 0.4% chance to win, 26% cash rate for the Josh Palmer version. Now, let's see what it looks like with Knox. Interesting, just 35% sim ROI, 0.3% chance to win, 26% cash rate. It appears the first version is the better version. Should have just trusted the optimal. It would have been very easy. One more to go. What do you got for me, Loughy?
And perfect lineup number 3. As always, well, actually, I didn't do it last week or last time. I mentioned that I didn't mention it, which means I wasn't doing it. I will have a exclusive, Tails exclusive perfect lineup over on Tails. If you haven't downloaded the app yet, do yourself a favor. Make sure to download it. Or go to tails.bet. Follow me at Loughy, Loughy. Follow Josh at Josh Engleman. Dude, check out the leaderboards. So many people are crushing right now that if you're not following and tailing them, you're doing yourselves a disservice. All of those bets are free, right? All of mine, all season long, all of Josh's, and all of these exclusive perfect lineups, the special ones that we put only on Tails that you won't find in this video, are only there So come check them out. Give us a follow. And of course, if you guys are loving the Tails platform, I know some of you have just been awesome supporters of our channel and everything we do for a long time, and it doesn't go unnoticed. If you haven't left a 5-star rating and a review over in the App Store for the Tails app, we're never going to ask you for money, right? We're never going to ask you to open your wallet on Tails. But if you could, open your hearts. But for real, if you don't mind hitting us with that rating and a review, that goes further than anything right now, and we are very thankful for it. All right, so I'm going to let Josh do the bulk of the work on this one and the Sims. James Cook, captain, Bills defense. That's it, okay? This game plays out differently than the first one where the passing attack gets going, even though Houston has a great secondary and a great pass rush. But it's Thursday night football. Weird shit happens. And then the first lineup where you have Woody Marks and Nick Chubb, and they can control the tempo because the Bills' run defense is abysmal. But in this case, it's actually James Cook that gets it going. The Bills' defense against Davis Mills and a shaky offensive line in Houston puts the Bills in fortuitous position, right? Gives them favorable field position. Cook punches a couple in, unlike last week where Josh Allen got them all. I'm hoping this would be a 5-1 as well. Maybe the second one will be a 4-2. We'll see how that plays out, but it's definitely a spot that I want to try. And of course, guys, not just perfect lineups, but we got a bunch of bets up for Thursday night football. So let's cross back and forth here. Get some bets in, get some DFS plays in, have ourselves a wonderful night, and Josh will close this one out.
I have no idea what we're going to end up with here. James Cook into the captain spot, 13% owned there. Very reasonable captain play, looks great. Bills D as well, 21% owned in the flex. And that's all Loughy's given us? With 20% randomness on this one, $28,100 remaining to spend? I'm anxious to see it. My expectation is a full Bills onslaught. And that is absolutely what we got. Elijah Moore, Josh Allen, Matt Prater, and Woody Marks. 5-1 Bills stack. But we could like it right now all we want. The most important thing is, what does it look like after we click Run Lineup Simulation? Now that is the way to end this video. Shout out to Loughy for this incredible setup. 83% sim ROI, 0.3% chance to win, 35% cash rate. It is without a doubt the best lineup we built so far in this video. We're going out on a high note. It seems like Bills Onslaught is where you want to be, given what we see on the screen right now, because this third lineup, or I guess technically the fourth lineup we built, absolutely perfect. I don't know how 7 of you managed to get Cowboys by 17 for Monday Night Football, but that's what happened. So the 7 of you are on the wheel. It's spinning right now. If your name pops up, email support@stokastic.com because you will be the winner. And right now it looks like Teddy Stevens Jr., 1234, you are the winner. Go ahead and take that screenshot, email support@stokastic.com. Claim your free week.